Well, willkommen, huanan, and welcome to FTR's Division 2. This is race 6. It's time to go to Australia. But before we do that, this is Webbo on the mic, just welcoming you tonight and welcoming as well our pre-show interview driver. We've got Cowboy joining us. Hi, Cowboy.
How's it, Weber? How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. And I'm really glad that you could tune in, get organised, ready for us. Good to have you here. And how are you feeling about how the season's progressing so far? You're currently in 19th place, but you have scored points so far. So how do you sort of evaluate your progress so far this season?
Yeah, look, crossing over to the new F122 has been a bit challenging. Obviously, with regards to traction control, the car's a lot looser
Yeah.
than what it was in F121. So it's taking a bit of getting used to. I do still play on controller, so
Okay.
with the buttons it is a little bit more difficult. But I'm hoping to slowly, obviously, edge a bit further up. But yeah, at the moment, just trying to finish races because there have been a lot of incidents in most of the races so far with first corners.
Yeah.
So I try and stay out of that and obviously capitalize from there. But yeah, I'm hoping that my pace will improve. I'm a lot slower than what I was last year. It just seems that the guys have created quite a big gap this season. Um, so yeah, just trying to obviously edge it out.
You were telling me that practice is a little bit of a difficult thing to get the hours in. So what kind of time level are you able to usually commit? Is it just the time to race each week, or are you able to set aside some time to get that track time you
Yeah,
need?
I do set aside a bit of time. I'm not able to play every day.
Yeah.
Obviously, running my own business has its own challenges, so there's not always a lot of time. So yeah, Wednesday I'll set aside some time and try and do some practice laps and see what setups work better. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I was telling you earlier on, unfortunately today was a busy day, so I've done zero practice for Australia. So it's going to be interesting tonight, and I just want to try and finish and see how many points I can grab tonight.
So what kind of support have you been able to get from your teammate Pampern and your teammates across in the Premier Division?
Yeah, Pampun's been quite a bit of help. He does quite a lot of R&D with setups and that, so he does share some good ideas in that, which is great. Um, yeah, we was just I wasn't last race, might in the race before. we we made contact during quali. It was totally my fault, but he was on a good lap, and yeah, I did apologize. Um, but yeah, so yeah, no, the teammate story is working well. But yeah, we're just trying to get as much points as we can.
Yeah, you've been overtaken in the standings at the moment by Ferrari, who have been unusually at the bottom of the standings through this season so far, season 7. But as a joint group, I know that generally speaking, the teammates are pretty helpful to each other across divisions. What are you expecting out of Australia? Is it a track you go well at usually? How's the new layout suiting you, do you think?
It's not one of my favorite tracks, but I do generally finish well on it. But yeah, the new layout is a bit confusing. You're kind of going through it and you're expecting to turn, and it just doesn't come. So with no practice being done for tonight, I think for the first 5 laps or so, it might be a bit of a wake up call for me. But
So you're planning to kind of fuel up for Q1 and just get panning around the
yeah,
racetrack?
I think I'll just try and do as many laps as I can in Q1 and just get used to the track layout again. Um, and if it rains a bit, that's even more challenging. So
Yeah.
um, that'll be even yeah, as I said, it'll be really challenging with not knowing the track layout that well. Um, but a bit of rain in a race is nice. I enjoy it. I'm not the quickest in the rain, but it really does open up the playing field a lot, and it makes it even more exciting. So maybe a bit of rain will be good.
No, absolutely. So how long have you been either a fan of F1 or a racing game enthusiast?
Well, I've been a fan of racing from a young age. I raced karts as a youngster.
Yeah.
So my father introduced me to racing and go-karting and everything like that. So I've always been very interested in it, and obviously grew up watching F1 with him. And then obviously with regards to playing online, I started playing online probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've played in three different leagues. So I have experience with online racing, and I enjoy it. It's just a bit of a break from the normal goings on in your life, and where you can just have some fun.
Yeah, it's something I really enjoy because there are times when this may not come as a surprise to the viewers, of course, but there are times when I lose sort of conscious thought when I'm commentating over a game. I know it's the same when you're doing lap after lap, or you're fully invested in the game. It's almost like mindfulness in a way, isn't it? It takes you out of everything else because it takes your full focus, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I know, I mean, just from karting, okay, I know there's no noises around you because you obviously got a helmet on and that, but your focus does totally go to what you're doing because you need all your senses. You obviously need to be aware of what's going on around you on the track. And if there's obviously somebody right behind you, you need to concentrate on them as much as going forward as well. So it's all about balancing it out. So yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of concentration.
So you're in the Haas car this season. How did that feel when you got that allocation? Were you pleased, not so pleased?
No, Haas isn't my favorite team, but I'm
I'm
a,
not
I'm
sure
a,
whose it is. Who does
yeah,
like
I'm
us?
a, I'm a, I'm a Mercedes boy.
Okay.
So and I always have been. But yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't really make much difference to me because obviously the performance is all equal
Yeah.
at how we play. So it doesn't really bother me. Obviously, if it wasn't equal, then it would bother me. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
but yeah, no, it doesn't really phase me what team car I drive.
So you've been part of FTR for how many seasons now?
This is my second or third season, I think.
Wow. Okay. And what would you say is your sort of top achievement so far in league racing?
Since I've been in FTR, I haven't actually had any really good achievements, to be honest. The the level of the guys in this group is very, very high. Some of the guys are absolutely blitz fast,
Yep.
and very few of them do actually make mistakes. Um, so it's sometimes not easy to capitalize on their mistakes of just being constant on my side. Um, but yeah, the competition is fierce in this league, and I mean in the Premier League you can see it's even closer. So I think there's a great group of guys here.
hmm
It creates some great racing.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's all very positive sounding. You mentioned you're on a controller. Any plans to sort of upgrade at some point? I imagine it's quite difficult for someone who used to do karting to have to stay on the controller.
Yeah, it has been a big thought of mine to move across, but on speaking to a lot of guys who have, they're actually slow on the wheel, and
Yes.
it's taken them a long time to even get to where they were on a controller. So look, from a simulator point of view, it would be great to get a wheel. It gives you more of a feel for what you're actually doing. Um, but from a pace point of view, it might be to my detriment because I also don't have a lot of time to practice. So to jump onto a wheel on the night and try and do quick laps won't be easy at all. So, but it is a plan in the future to try and do it,
Yeah.
um, and obviously get the right wheel as well with the right force feedback and stuff like that.
What would you say would be your kind of dream setup?
Look, I really do like the Fanatic. It is a great wheel, um, but obviously they are pricey,
Yeah.
and with that you also got to have the right seating and stuff like that. Obviously, the other option is a G29, which is more of an entry level. But in saying that, a lot of guys say the G29 is not good, but the other guys who are on the G29 who are quicker than the guys on Fnatic. So
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
I have a
it's
G29. It's as good as I need, but I'm no top level driver at all. But um, I don't need anything better than that at my ability level. And I certainly don't need broken fingers when I hit the wall from a direct
yeah,
drive. So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, like they say that apparently the pedals in the G29 are better than the pedals on the Fnatic setup. So
wow.
it's a bit of a give and take.
I
Um,
absolutely one of the things I want to do is to get one of those custom wheels for the G29. Um,
yes, yeah.
they look the business they do, and you can get them in team versions as well. So it's got McLaren or
I
it's
just
got
don't get a
Mercedes on
Ferrari
it.
one. Okay.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. I was an F1 fan. I don't know if you were, but I was an F1 fan all the way through the Schumacher years. I don't think I can ever forgive Ferrari or Schumacher for that period of time. So
Yeah, I've always been a Williams Mansell fan.
yep.
Um,
Well, that's the
and
red five in my gamer tag is a red five for
yeah,
Mansell.
that's it. And I wasn't a Senna fan. Look, he was a brilliant driver. Um, and I definitely wasn't a Schumacher fan either.
No.
But yeah, there were some good guys back in the eras.
So
And yeah,
who do you follow now? Oh, I think we might be lighting up. I think we might be on our way. So we might have to pause that one for another time. Cowboy, it's been great chatting with you. All the best for tonight. Hopefully you can get plenty of laps in Q1 and you make it through to Q2. So we'll try and pull for you tonight. And yeah, great to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
great. Thanks, Weber. Cheers.
Thanks, that was great. It was really good to talk to him. I would just mention, in case he's still listening, just to exit the party or mute the mic now, because other drivers have said in the past that the interviewer can sometimes be heard consistently through the race for their perspective, because I mute everybody so that I don't get any voices coming through. But welcome everybody who's with us. We've got plenty of people watching already, and thank you for that. Hope you've enjoyed our chat with Cowboy. We had a problem for Punaki or Pampern, who is caused a slight issue coming into the lobby. He was hanging for some time, as you probably saw, but it looks like he's gone and might not be able to make a return at this stage. If you're watching with us, do tell me who you're here to support. I will try and remember those of you who are watching to try and gather some strategy ideas for tomorrow's race in the Premier Division. But it's always good and worth a reminder for me while we're on stream. Looks like we're underway for Q1 then, and I think unfortunately Pampern might well be a casualty from the session. It looks well, that's Cowboy's teammate. So on the one hand, it's one fewer drivers for Cowboy to try and outscore tonight. But on the other hand, it's his teammate. And currently in the championship standings, I'll go through the constructors first for the combined Premier and Second Division. Alpine are on top with 239. Alfa Romeo next, joint with Mercedes on 220. Then comes Aston Martin, Williams, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Red Bull, Ferrari have leapfrogged off the bottom of the standings with a good performance over last week, and Haas are currently bottom on only 30 points. In terms of our Drivers' Championship here in Division 2, Panda leads after a phenomenal performance last week out. Then he's on 137, and on 108 is Burn It Down, followed closely jointly by Avalak and Stoffel on 75. Then comes Shane on 68, Saltzmeister 67, little gap then to Ron in 7th, 46, Martin on 44, and Pampern and Jacques making out your top 10. Tonight we are missing Botta, so Minor is here to join us and to sub in for him, and unfortunately Martin is serving a race ban. I imagine that that is somewhat to do with what happened in turn 1 of last week's race. Go back and watch it if you wish to. We're heading out on track already. It looks like we've got Burn It Down out on track. So the lone McLaren, usually McLaren are topping the timing screens throughout qualifying, especially so for the Q3. So he'll be having to do it on his own today. We'll Burn It Down, so that will be a different experience for him. But like I say, we're here in Australia, the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, and just going through the slightly updated section of the racetrack. Of course, we head down now towards turn 11, which is a sharper right-hand corner than drivers will have been used to in previous iterations. The hope is we might see some overtaking down into there, but I have yet to see. It absolutely transformed the racetrack. Coming then through the final corner is Burn It Down, and we'll join him on board as we then go down the start-finish straight and look for a good braking point into turn 1. Here we go. Very late braking, just tiptoeing around. It's a very low grip circuit here, and then looking again for that braking point somewhere around 60 meters for turn 3. Turn 4 goes across the car park barrier, and then you can usually go full throttle through 5. Turn 6 and 7, this one now and this one here, nice and smoothly through. So I don't have live chat comments. There we go. So hi to Hanko, hi to Cyber, Panda's watching in the background, and to Elmarie. And we look now for a very quick, just tiny little dip of the throttle even into 6th gear, surviving turn 9 and 10 safely, and then we're back down towards turn 11 once again. Heavy braking now, sharp apex strike, now much smoother exit through turn 12. Alfa Romeo gets out of the way. Turn 13, this turn here is so slippery. You'll see a lot of drivers short shifting. It didn't feel like Burn It Down did a great deal of short shifting. He crosses the line and won 19.5 for the first time out on the board. Let's ride with AP Marg, who was last week's interviewee pre-show. So it looks like AP Marg just taking this one fairly easily and heading towards the start-finish straight and the line, and it's a 21.0 for AP Marg. Top Gun gets in between Burn It Down and AP Marg already. Cowboy put a 23.4 on the board, just warming up the car and the tyres, I think, at this point. We've got Chicken Wing out there. Is that Shane about to finish a lap? It is Shane in the Alpha Tauri. And heading towards the line in for Shane. This will put him into 2nd place, 4/10 away from Burn It Down. A very nice banker lap to get on the board. And what I want to hear from our live viewers is what you think the elimination time will be here for Q1 tonight. If you get into the 21s, do you have to be into the 20s to try and get yourself through? Here is Chums. I've got Botta, Gerhard Botta, in the live chat saying hello, and he is here supporting Avi and Minor, who he's selected Minor as his reserve, test and reserve driver, fulfilling Botta's seat tonight. And in the driver chat, I think we are. We hung on for all our drivers to make it. Unfortunately, it looks like Burt's won't be making it tonight. Johan says Panda for the win. Well, it's a fairly safe bet there, given recent performances. Chums gets into P3 on a 20.8. There's a big gap there between the front row and the rest of the field as the drivers try to fulfill this lap. There's Chicken Wing. He has unfortunately invalidated. We did manage to get Pampern back in on the racetrack, and he crosses the line in a 19.8, so that's a very nice time to get on the board. Very nice indeed from Pampern, a 19.849. Given the slight sense of panic about joining, he will have been feeling, he'll be very relieved. Looked a little bit slow out of turn 11 from Ron in the championship leading Alfa Romeo here. Well gripped down as we go towards the line with Ron. he'll take his car up to a 9th place 122.6, but I suspect that he was just warming everything up there. I don't think that was a full pace lap, unfortunately. Excuse me. Unfortunately, Chicken Wing will not thank us for joining him on board at that precise moment, because unfortunately that is a terminal damage, wheel missing off the car accident. Coming out of turn 3 in towards turn 4, he is out of the session and will play no further part. Well, Sir Hamrick is just finishing out his outlap, so we will join him. Up to trying to get a gap to the Haas on the track in front of him. Nice early power down moment there on the way out of the final corner. A little bit wide through one, maybe a little bit slow, and that's a little 180, 240, and there is Sir Hamrick. I think he will have got damage as a result, but I think he's still in contention here. Let's join Avalac instead then. Server owner, lone admin. Abby is asking for admins to join the management of the server at the moment, so if you are so inclined, do get in touch. Leagues don't run without admins, so do what you can to support Abby, who does it all himself, I think, for the most part here. Burn It Down might be on a new lap. I think that might be it for hot laps at the moment. Waiting with just under 10 minutes to go from Q1. So Burn It Down into his 3rd sector. Nice positive throttle pickup. The line then, Burn It Down. That is a slower lap, but could be again one of those charge laps for him. So Hamrick back on the charge now, picks up the car, got it back round, and we join him as he tries to get himself. Wow, we are having some major grip issues on board Sir Hamrick tonight. This is out of character, and the clock is ticking. There's plenty of time to get round and get a good lap in, but the clock is ticking now, and time is starting to ebb away. I suppose time always ebbs away, doesn't it? At almost a completely constant pace. But hopefully you know what I mean. Here comes Jacques coming in out of turn 3 and 4. That's turn 5. Down towards the mini chicane of 6. Ooh, very late on the turn in. Almost surprising himself with turn 6. We head towards turn 8, which is much of a nothing kind of corner now. It's just a flat out acceleration zone all the way around to the new turn 9. One of the most difficult parts of any racing circuit on the calendar to perfect is the turn 9-10 chicane and exit down in this back straight towards turn 11. Potential overtaking opportunity if two drivers are cooperating sufficiently. Abbey gets his time in, a 1:19.3, and it's the fastest time on the board. Here comes Jacques. We've heard from him before in the pre-show. Jacques up to P8 in the Alpine, a 20.3. Let's see if that one's going to be safe for him. But it's Avalac, Burn It Down, and J-Boy, and currently at risk of elimination, Sergeant Panda, Hamrick, and well, certainly Chicken Wing. He will definitely get himself eliminated. Esitronic has also invalidated this current lap, unfortunately. Let's see, obviously, Sergeant Panda, we would expect to be able to get himself through. He has just played it very cool in the pits, and he's doing very little here. Hi to Martin, who joins us in the live chat. Good to see you. Glad you're tuning in. Hopefully you'll be back next week. Fifth gear through turn 2 from Panda. He's usually on it very quickly. in this Q1 session, but just letting just the very sort of champion-elect, championship leader type of driving here. Just let everybody else sweep the racetrack clean and get it warmed up nicely. As Martin says, he's in the naughty corner tonight. I've avoided saying too much too soon about that, Martin, but you are serving a race ban, yes indeed. So hopefully we will see you again soon once that is served. Panda invalidated, so that complicates things slightly for him. We've got Bertz on the way out now. Bertz was asking if he could join mid-qualifying. There was an edict went out earlier in the week to drivers not to rejoin in qualifying. So apart from me saying that right now, that might be an issue for people. He's actually rocking a Nicholas Lafiti helmet here, is Bertz. So I don't know if he's Canadian or a Latifi fan, or that's got a slight sense of irony to it, maybe. Latifi is slowly collecting corner names, certainly as I decide to judge them around the world. So we'll I don't know if he needs to receive one for this track just yet, but maybe so. Whoa, we're using a lot of the grass. There is Aircitronic trying to get ready to put a lap in here. As I say, time is ticking down. Avalak at 19.3, Burnett down at 19.5, and there's a fair distance at the moment, nearly 4 seconds between first and 14th before all of the competitive times get put in. And we go then to the first part of the racetrack with Aircitronic. It does look like the drivers have been struggling on traction on this circuit. It's low grip at the best of times. Factor in the new car model handling. Here we go, round already. A little spin from Aircitronic, and now really starting to feel the pressure with 4.5 minutes left to go. It's decision time. Do you double down on this lap, on these tyres, or do you go in the pits and try and make it work just that one time? Where is Cowboy at the moment? He's a 23.1 in 14th position. That from Bertz was very, very risky for an invalidation, but I think he managed to just feather the throttle enough to avoid it. VMAX down this straight before heading down into 6th gear. Just a tap on the brakes, the car's downshift so quickly. Trying to drive as straight as possible through the chicane. Down into turn 11 now. Used to be almost a constant radius double right-hander. Now it's two corners with very different characteristics. Super low grip. Again, section of the racetrack down here, but away towards the line goes Bertz. Clock ticking on. It's 1:22.8 is his fastest time so far. So that keeps him in the drop zone with Cowboy. Aircitronic on the bubble with a 22.1, some 7/10 in front of Bertz, in fact. So he'll be feeling relatively comfortable. But the amount of spins we've seen, nobody can rest on their laurels just yet. Looks like Minor is busy just getting the car ready for a final lap here. Just under 3 minutes to go before the checkered flag of Q1. All this session does is decide who we lose, which 15 or 16 drivers go through to Q2. I know the rules are 15, but I have seen this game decide to promote 16 or just 14 before, so... Here is Ron heading out to the line then. Currently 13th. Is this a bit better from Ron? It is better, but it's not enough to move him forward. It's 13th place at 21.075, a shade slower than AP Mark, and stuck in 13th at the moment. So Hamrick has popped in a 6th place time. That was a Ferrari of Chums. No, it must have been the Ferrari of Chums looking slow at that point. So Hamrick though with a 1:19.8, I think we'll be happy with that one. Bertz then will, I'm assuming, run again. It's coming out of the pits. Any drivers on a hot lap at the moment, doesn't appear to be. We've got FTRF1 and Cowboy in the pits at the moment with, well, not quite enough time to get out and back round again. So it could be that it's just Butts who will try and get around. Or is that Chicken Wings ghosted Ferrari that's just sitting there after the crash? Might well be. We have got Minor on the track. He's a shade slower, just nearly 0.2 slower than he was before. Slightly sideways on the way out of turn 13. Way to the line then. 21.075 matches Ron's time, but of course, having set it afterwards, Ron keeps that 13th place very, very tight. We're going to have a heck of a battle with the bottom 5 in Q2. It looks to be. Just waiting on Ron here. Could argue these guys don't need to be running these laps because they may not get overtaken, but Ron in 13th place. Also got a lap happening with Butts, I think. Let's join him momentarily. Let's see what this first sector looks like for Ron. So he is quicker than he's been before. Butts is heading into the pits. I don't think he's going to make any headway. That was Minus who spun. Minor in there, subbing in here for Botta. Has spun. Ron keeping that 0.04 of a second. Losing nearly 0.05 through sector 2, but he's still within a shout here. There's a stranded Red Bull on the circuit, a stranded Ferrari on the circuit. The Red Bull has got going once again. This is I think the last hot lap that will finish this session out. Can Ron give himself a bit more confidence to head into Q2 and get himself safely in the top 10? I wonder. Track is at its best. What can Ron do from here? Going to cross the line. He gets only up to 12th, so a 1/10 improvement overall. Looks to be nearing his pace limit. You feel potentially at this stage of the race. We'll just see at this stage of qualifying. We'll just see what the drivers decide to do. Normally, everybody decides to retire out of the session, but if Ron continues round all the way to the checkered flag, we will all the way to the start-finish line in preparation for a potential practice start. If only we could do practice starts. We'll be waiting just about a minute and a half before we can complete this session. Hi to Paris Ninja, who joins for the Williams team, so supporting them. And which team have we got the most support for tonight? How many Premier drivers have we got tuning in? So here we go then. We've got our top group. So fastest time was a 19.311 from Avalak. Slightly quicker there than Panda on a 19.3, who leads the championship. Burn it down, J-Boy, Pampa and Hamrick, Shane, Top Gun, Chums and Saltzmeister will be feeling like they should be able to challenge for Q3. The next comes Jacques, Ron, AP Marg, Minor, Esitronic. And they are on the top 15, and we lost Butts, Cowboy and Chicken Wing unfortunately from the session. As we spoke to Cowboy earlier on, he's had 0 practice on the track. I think he said it's 2 months since he last tackled this track anyway, so it's an extended test session for Cowboy, but if he keeps the car moving, he may still be within a shout of some points at the end of the race. Q2, and it looks like the Mercedes garage are getting ready to get out there with J-Boy. Looks like AP Mark also, but there's someone on the track in front of even him, and it's Ron first on out of the track. In fact, a coordinated effort from both Alfa Romeo drivers. Quite happy with their setup, quite happy with the tyre selection, ready to go on the soft tyres to get through Q2. You could do yourself a favour here and save a set of tyres. Looks like we'll be doing 29 laps, so roughly 9 or 10 laps will be your estimated length of your soft tyre run. I wondered there for a moment whether the Alfa Romeo boys were going to coordinate giving each other toes down in this session, but looks like FTRF1 has allowed an AlphaTauri to get in front of him. So Ron just getting a feel for the car, how it's handling, how it's responding to him before getting ready for a strong final corner. Away we go then to start our hot lap here. 15 minutes total, just under 13 to go in this session, and that is an invalidation all day long from Ron, unfortunately. We'll join Shane instead, because that was way too positive on the front end of the car. He got so much turn out of it, it was not expecting. So down into turn 3 we go, Ron getting well out of the way, but still have caused a momentary hesitation for Shane. Shane might feel slightly aggrieved by that. It is a street circuit style here in Albert Park, so visibility is not great. There's not very much of the circuit where drivers can avoid each other. There are wider sections, but generally speaking, a lot of blind corners behind concrete walls, so difficult to find your own bit of racetrack. And there goes Shane, wipes off a full corner of the car and the front wing as well. Retiring from the session is Shane. So the first two out of the pits did not cover themselves in glory by any stretch of the imagination. Both of them are having issues in their first lap. It's AP Marg next then. We'll try and finish a clean lap for you on stream. Martin says he thinks Ron turned in too late. Wow, okay. He got a lot of apex for someone who turned in too late, surely. As AP Marg then heads to the line. This one looks like a nice, cool, calm and collected lap at 1:23.3. I'm sure we will see a faster lap out of him tonight. Out there, we saw J-Boy was one of the early ones out of the garage, but his garage is the furthest away from the circuit. 26.9 for J-Boy. Top Gun 36.1 and a 36.7 for FTRF1. So some fairly slow laps going in already. Jacques though a 20.652. I think we will see a 1:19 shortly. Just looking for drivers who are actually out there on their lap right now. Salzmeister is one of those, using some of the grass, just grass skimming the right hand side of the car. Hi to Shocker as well. Martin was joking. Good, okay. But yes, hi to Shocker. Remind me, Shocker, who are you supporting tonight? Salzmeister then for Alpine. Championship leading Alpine team across divisions. Burn It Down does get in a 1:19, but it's a 1:19.1, so much quicker than he went before. Salzmeister a 20.1, just underlining the pace of that McLaren currently. So he gets himself into a nice and comfortable position in this first batch of laps. Shocker's here for Burn It Down, so presumably a McLaren fan or maybe just a mate of Burn It Down, but as you'll see, Shocker, Martin is sitting in the live chat watching along. He's very sporting of him. Chums is P5, good enough, 1:20.382 for the Ferrari driver. A nice rainbow mix of icon colours there for everybody on the tower as well. Lots of mixed results for the teams. Avalak next out there to go for it. Hasn't started this lap just yet. Panda in the pits, keep playing it cool once again. So Burn It Down does appear to be Mr. Popular with our audience who are watching us live. I don't know if anyone has an advance on Burn It Down, who they want to win tonight. Obviously we've got Panda. Panda picks up more fans every time he wins. Like Top Gun picking up, was that a penalty for Top Gun? No, it was a disqualification for Top Gun and Minor. 14th and 15th position they have been demoted to. They will not progress through, so surviving this session has just been made an awful lot easier with the retirements of Esitronic and Shane and the disqualifications of Top Gun and Minor. That just leaves one person that you have to beat tonight in order to get through to Q3, so they're dropping like flies. If we have one more retirement, hopefully everyone else will just retire afterwards, surely. But here comes Avalek then. Any advance? Oh, a very good advance on his previous time. That's now a 19.0. So having put a tenth of a second on Burn It Down almost, he secures that fastest time. And Burn It Down, even though Martin's not here, has got some plenty of competition at the front of the grid, which is great to see. We've got outlaps happening for Hamrick and for Panda. So Panda's about to start a lap here. Hamrick is some way away from it. Panda looking for the best possible line through the final corner. Very late apex, early throttle application. Looked like he held partial throttle through turn 1 and 2, which I've not seen before, but it would be a fairly smart way to go about it. Keep the car a little bit more balanced. Smooth so far from Sergeant Panda. He's aggressive into turn 6, but reaping the benefits. If you get turn 6 right, it's flat out all the way down to this tiny blip of turn 9 and 10 that we're waiting for. Still to come. 50-meter board, little tap of the brakes, drop 2 gears, back on it again as quickly as the car will balance, and it's going very well indeed for Panda here. Another late braking into turn 11. Shocker's here from another league, who's a friend of Burn It Down, with the same 3 letters just mixed up. So I have leagues where their names are freakishly similar sounding as well. Here goes Panda though, an 18.8, the first 18-second qualifying lap set so far. An 18.8 from Panda. That's doing it in style, isn't it? And we have had that extra retirement. It was Sir Hamrick. So the drivers can all dust off their hands and go ahead and retire now, frankly, because they're all guaranteed to get through. It looks like it's going to be Esitronic, Shane, so Hamrick, Top Gun and Minor just stealing any kind of tension for me from the end of Q2. So I will not thank them for doing that, but I'm sure they're racing for their own gratification and not mine. AP Mark looking for an opportunity here to get back on it. Looks like Avalak's coming back into the pits after that hot lap. Just under 5 minutes to go in the session. I'm not sure whether we really need to be watching, like really need to be fulfilling every second of that session. But AP Mark would like to set himself a better time. Very nice tight times here in the second division. Burn It Down is not going for glory in this session. Would rather keep a set of tyres. Thankfully, lots of the drivers are deciding to retire here. We've got outlaps from Pampern and Chums. I can understand them wanting to get a bit of confidence going to the next session. AP Marg going across the second sector, and he's positive. It's a 3/10 improvement versus himself. But he needs an extra 3 seconds over that to get to move forward in the order. More retirements coming in. Just got these 3 drivers left to run. So unless AP Mark had a really awful third sector on his fastest lap, I don't know that this is going to be a massive improvement. It's it is a 1.1 second improvement. It gets up to a 22.1, but still some 2 seconds away from the next fastest driver. Pampern getting into turn 1 and 2. Haven't changed the stickers on his car. It still says Kevin Magnussen on it. You hear the short shifts happening for Pampern just to control the throttle. At least control the traction, I should say, really. There is turn 6. Brake as close to the wall as possible, gives you a nice open angle to attack this chicane. It's AP Mark ahead of him on track, just heading towards the pits. I think he'll make it into the pit lane before he becomes a problem for Pampern. Really using that shifter to hold the car. A 9/10 improvement for Pampern up to P4. A 19.3 would have been good enough to top the timing screens for the previous qualifying session. Let's see if Chums can complete the lap out here. Shane says a lot of work to do for the AlphaTauri boys. I'm assuming you are the Shane who retired from this one. And a 3/10 improvement, nearly 4/10 improvement there for Chums, and up to P6. So 3 drivers left circulating, well, 2 circulating, 1 in the pits, and they're going to make us watch, I think, every second of Q2. There are your finishing order. A 1:18.8 for Panda is the fastest time we've seen tonight. A 19.0 and a 19.1 from Avalak and Burn It Down are their fastest times tonight as well. Then Pampern, Jack, Chums, J-Boy, Saltzmeister, Ron and AP Marg, and invalidated, disqualified or retired, Esotronic, Shane, Hamrick, Top Gun and Minor. I'll be back with you in just a moment for Q3. back for all the action of Q3. Who's your prediction in the live chat for the poll? And what will that time be? AP Mark's out there first off. We'll see what kind of pace he's got. Of course, 12 minutes for this session, and that will be roughly 3 hot laps. If they're just going to do single hot laps, they might decide to do 2 stints of back-to-back, give themselves that little bit of flexibility in case the first lap is a little bit less than ideal. Great view of the under-trailer car on the camera angle on the way into turn 9 there, and here now. Highly complex floor arrangement and side pod leading edges on the Aston Martin. I don't know if we've got the amazing rear wing on this Aston Martin on the car in the game yet. Rabico says pole is either Burn It Down or Panda. Hi to Don, who joins us there, and to Joshua Lee, of course, supporting Alpine, but not with a prediction for pole just yet. I'm sure I know what Martin is going to say, and Shocker. And Rabico already getting his podium prediction in before we've even finished Q3. So he says Burn It Down, Panda and Avalac will be the top 3. Well, Burn It Down, he's been lacking a little bit of consistency in the races. Maybe he's got that ironed out here. It's going to be a better one for him. Wait and see as AP Marg heads around the car park. Josh says Saltzmeister for pole. Well, that would be a very bold prediction. I love it. I'm sure it's just a coincidence that Saltzmeister is also an Alpine driver. If you mark then, full throttle all the way through to turn 9, dip down to turn 6, maybe slightly slow through turn 6 and 7. Lowering the upshift slightly as well. It's Pampern who has got the 19.1. That's very, very tidy for Pampern. That's his fastest time. The sun is shining very brightly on the circuit, so it will be getting warmer down in Q2. Pampern beats Panda in the first laps. Panda a 19.3 and Ron only a 20.4. Here comes AP Marg then. Can go a 21.9 on the first lap. J-Boy in the sister Mercedes will cross the line now for a 21.1, and we've got Avalac out there who has been quick this evening. He's been quick in this section of this portion of the championship and season as well, so let's wait and see how this lap finishes, but he's been right on it. He has no rear gunner tonight, but in the top 10 at least. Normally him and Botta are fighting hard up here. Avalac straight up to the fastest time again, 18.7 his fastest, and a nice marker put down on the racetrack. Burn It Down has invalidated his first lap. Will he come into the pits, do we think? No, he's going to go around and do another lap, and we can fully focus on Burn It Down's lap then. So far, and now we go full throttle. Long and winding sector 2 of the racetrack. Just one braking zone into sector 2. 45.053 sector 2 time for Burn It Down. Shocker says Panda Burn It Down Avalac for qualifying, I think. He said Burn It Down will win the race, P1 into turn 1. And Sim saying that Burn It Down is running the same helmet, the Vettel helmet, I guess. Heads to the line, then burn it down. It's an 18, it's an 18.6, it's faster than Avalak. Burn it down, Avalak, Pampern and Panda demoted to P4 at this stage of the proceedings. So that's how they stand after the first salvo has been fired. And Pantry says Williams will be in the game tonight. Yes, they will. They will. Turn it down straight into P1 there, an 18.6. Didn't make the most out of his first lap. I think he may only get round to do one more run here, possibly a back-to-back run, but one more set of tyres available really to burn it down. If Marg retires from the session in P10, so no improvement possible for AP Marg. As Pampern is currently on an outlap. Jacques is circulating on a fast lap at the moment, Jacques. Maybe going for a triple lap here. That one is definitely a slow lap happening right now. Some drivers coming out of the pits, burn it down, headed into the pits, and it's Pampern to attack the racetrack first on the second stint here. Andrew says well done, Chums into P6. Sam says it's the Vettel helmet that does it, okay. The Vettel helmet doesn't make you barge other drivers in the safety car now. Pops over the turn 5 apex curb. Oh, that was smooth through turn 6 and 7 for Pampern. Very, very handy through here. 19.1 is his fastest time. How does sector 2 look? We'll find out very shortly. Oh, it's slightly over his quickest, but it is a purple quickest sector, and that is unfortunately a good way to ruin your run. That is the treacherous turn 9 and 10 curb system. He's lucky, honestly, to keep all 4 wheels on the car. You get an even better look at the underside of the car now that there's no front wing in the way. Here for Pampern, job for the mechanics to do now, as I think we've got Chums on a lap currently. Just started a lap here for Chums. First sector, very good for Chums, 3/10 to the good now. That would, if he held on to that, that would see him leapfrog 2 drivers in front of him, but I'm sure he's greedy for more. Avalak is, I think, on a lap as well. Let's have a quick check-in with Avalak. Can't see his sector time, sadly. Chums has monstered the second sector and got a purple middle sector here. He's really on it, improving through the middle sector. That might suggest he's on a lower downforce setting than the other drivers. Oh, just tiptoeing around the edge of the circuit. He was fully off the circuit, but just held on. Of course, it's the yellow lines that denote the racetrack here in Melbourne. And we go towards the line in for Chums. Did he lose all that time? He did lose a big chunk of that time and can only go 5th place. Avalak, though, is a quarter of a second to the good at the moment. That's good enough for pole. Will it be pole for Avalak? It is. It's 18.345. They're pushing each other harder and harder through the laps now. Burn It Down on a lap behind him, so we'll join Burn It Down as they continue to duke it out for pole. See this first sector time for Burn It Down, looking very loose at the rear. Burn It Down at the moment, and he's 0.004 underneath his existing time. That's not quick enough. He's got to build a lot more out of this lap now with just 2 sectors remaining. And he's actually lost time, Burn It Down, on this run, so I don't think he's going to be able to overhaul his own time by 0.3 of a second to beat Avalak to pole. That is looks to be Avalak on pole at this stage with 1 minute 12 to run before the checkered flag. Burn It Down has quit this lap so that he can have one more hot lap, one more go at it. Panda is trying to run at the moment and try and get ready. So is J-Boy. He will go through and do his next lap. It looks to be that it will be Burn It Down. Will it starting his last lap first, as it were? Or is Panda actually on one? Panda is on a lap and he crosses the first sector time and he's 0.3 to the good. It's not going to be enough at this stage, but it's a very healthy gain over the first sector. Avalak's retired from the session, quite happy with his session's work, his whole qualifying so far, and Panda just about stays where he was relative to his previous lap. Still over 0.3 to the positive for Panda. His championship would not be hurt by starting up on the front row if he can. Still a big ask though. Should go and check out what Burn It Down is doing. I'm sure everyone in the chat is screaming to their screens, come on, show us Burn It Down. But Panda will cross the line and he gets up onto the front row. What a final sector that was. 0.7 he put on his own best lap to get up onto the front row by 0.16 of a second. It was that tight at the front. Here comes Burn It Down then. He'll have the fastest conditions of the top three to finish this lap out. Burn It Down as the time ticks over to a 19. It's not quick enough. It's Avalak from Panda. And the only person left with a chance of improving is Jacques. But Avalak with an 18.3. Fantastic pole position time. Here comes Jacques. He did jump up. It was the screen cut away too quickly for me to see exactly the time. A 5th place time for Jacques. So some very quick competitive times at the front of the field. That was Avalak there with the pole position 1:18.345, beating out championship leader Panda, and then Burn It Down in 3rd place on the cleaner side of the grid. We've got Pampern and Jacques, J-Boy, Chums, Saltzmeister, Ron and AP Marg as we get ready for 29 laps around Albert Park in Melbourne. Dom Rabico says that Burn It Down messed up his chances with inconsistencies. Well, I wouldn't want to speak too soon. He's in a good place for this race. Certainly 3rd place. No, you'd take that if you were offered it before qualifying. But the pole position went to Avalak. I'm sure will do him the world of good. I think may have been feeling a little bit dejected after last week's turn 1 incident. But it's the easiest way to stay clean in turn 1 is to be on pole position as the grid get ready for their formation lap. Just a reminder that this to like the video and subscribe to the channel today, please. And also, if you like the commentary, you can follow me at WebORed5, where you will also find, if you go to my YouTube channel, some track guides. We're doing them in collaboration with a friend of mine, FedEx. Just issued the Suzuka track guide today. It doesn't help with Melbourne at this stage, but it is the latest one on the playlist. So if you want to check that out, this guy regularly gets top 10 times, so it certainly helps you around the circuit. Here are the tyre selections then for the race. Medium tyres for the vast majority, apart from Burn It Down, who's going to look for a real scorcher off the grid. In 3rd, Pampern has selected hard tyres to start the race around Melbourne. That is going to be a difficult first few laps for Pampern. Look to him to potentially be on the defensive. And then also Esitronic and Cowboy have selected softs for the first stint. Of course, the drivers don't know what everyone else is selecting, as they did in the previous race in the top 10, previous game in the top 10. But so they have to make their own decisions. But obviously, medium is the way that everybody has gone, and that will mean that they will be quick at the end on soft tyres if they're one stopping this race. Like I say, 29 laps of a very quick Albert Park circuit. Should be over before you know it, and we will have our race 6 winner. Anyone wish to change their podium predictions or add their predictions into our contest tonight, do so now before we hit the lights out. Otherwise, frankly, no credit for you at all. Well, reduced credit. So Avalak away from the grid then. He's got pole position. He's got the championship leader behind him and one of the fastest drivers in the division on soft tyres directly behind him in third. Should be a mouth-watering start to this race for everybody. Bottas says Avalak will win. Simp says Burn It Down will win. Great stuff. Looks like, was that a disqualification or was that just Avalak just really, really quick through that formation lap? Beautiful view here. Very, very realistic, except when an AlphaTauri just spears into the wall. I think Jacques got himself disqualified for misaligning, and you will see this add up. It's a few degrees of temperature gone off the tyres, but they will be underway for you very, very shortly. Reminder, this is race 6 of season 7 in the Division 2. I cannot get you a good camera angle. This is driving me mad. It's lights on and it's drop the clutch and go, go, go away from the start. I can't see who's doing well. Here comes Burn It Down. It's Avalak slow away from the start, but it's Panda down the inside. Panda down the inside into turn 1. Beats out both Avalak and Burn It Down, and Avalak drops down 2 places, but can start to consolidate. Shane has perhaps had the shortest running order of the entire night, as the yellow flags, full course yellow has been declared. I don't know if we're going to have a full safety car or not, but Shane is has been retired from the session before making it past turn 1, and like I say, one of the shortest races and track time allocations we've seen for Shane this whole season. For anybody, I think. Shane out of the race so early on. Must have been some contact at the front. Unfortunately, the camera angles that were available to me did not really help me identify that, but I know Shane tuned in earlier in between sessions. Maybe he'll stop by and let us know what went down. It's Panda in the lead though from Burn It Down and Avalak. Looks like we're under green flag conditions once again. The front 3 have got away beautifully. Avalak there just behind them, as Jacques is fighting off Pampern, who has lost a place away from the start as well. That is, so yeah, Pampern down 1, Avalak down 2. We've got Chums down 1, maybe just taking his place back again. Esitronic lost out, and Saltzmeister down to 17th. Sorry to everyone supporting Alpine in the live chat tonight. Panda gets the fastest lap away from the grid and is being caught by Burn It Down, ironically, after getting fastest lap. He's first across the line anyway. And that is how things have changed. Cowboy up 7 places. And any neutrals in the crowd usually cheering on the star of the pre-show. So Cowboy up to P10 on the soft tyres. That has worked beautifully for the Haas driver. As now Burn It Down and Sergeant Panda tried to move forward. AP Marg out of the session, out of the race, has DNF'd on the hard tyres as well. A lot of trouble for our drivers in the early part of the race, as Cowboy moves up another place now, up to P9 on these first 2 laps. That's got to be a POV to watch back, hasn't it? Burn It Down, good fast sector time. We'll look for a lot of drivers to struggle coming out of turn 10 through the evening as the grip wears off on their tyres. Burn It Down on the soft tyres though is absolutely catching here for the for the lead of the race. We've got Avalak slipping back slightly on the medium tyres relative to Panda. Avalak may be favouring his soft tyre or qualifying setup, and certainly struggling a little bit at the moment. Chums rejoins us back into his car that's currently in P12, and Burn It Down picks up the first of the true fastest laps at 1:22. Minor, a penalty on the board, the first penalty so far, as Cowboy has made it up to 8th place as well, 5.2 seconds off Ron in 7th, as we focus, of course, on the battle for the lead of the race. Running wide, Burn It Down. We'll need to just dial it back a little bit, because the track limits will add up to penalties later on quite quickly. Albert Park, a very difficult circuit to consistently get right. Pampern is just managed to overtake Jacques before the DRS has been enabled down the back straight, curved straight, on the lead up to turn 9. Pampern into 4th place, has regained that position as he's got the hard tyres back into something like racing temperatures. And we continue to watch Burn It Down follow Sergeant Panda for the lead of this race. Should now get DRS enabled once the fastest laps have been cleared, I believe. Pampern has retired from the session. Pampern out of the race. What has befallen Pampern in the Haas? Chicken Wing gets a nudge for his efforts as Sir Hamrick comes through. Pampern was one of those classic final corner traction problems for Pampern. Looks like the Ferrari nudged ahead there under the yellow flag. It is going to be a full safety car. They still haven't fixed the glitch here that says about that doesn't give us the safety car or virtual safety car. Simps asks for ERS. Well, Simps, tell me who you want to see, because I don't leave it on for the whole race unless it becomes pertinent later on. It's very early days, and now we're under the second full course yellow. The ERS will revisit, will recharge very quickly. So looks like we've lost Pampern, AP Mark and Shane really early on. Now, do any of the soft runners decide here to switch up the strategy, I wonder, as Burn It Down on the soft tyres has not been able to get past Panda, but a cheap pit stop is in the offing here. Could he potentially consider hard tyres to run to the end of the race? It's a big ass 25 lap stint. Imagine that those sorts of into the pits comes Burn It Down. Brilliant. So we're going to see a change of strategy here for Burn It Down, a real plan B in operation. Keep an eye then on what tyres Burn It Down selects, because Panda is still in the lead of this race. There we go, hard tyres on the car for Burn It Down. Wow, they're almost making me look like I know what I'm talking about, don't they, these soft runners? As Cowboy comes into the pits, having gained so many places, gives up the track position now for a favourable time for a pit stop. We've got Jacques in the pits, funnily enough getting off the hard tyres, I think, and is he, what's Jacques on? Cowboy's going to choose mediums and change a front wing, so a forced decision there. That was not part of the plan at all, but that leaves Burn It Down now in 4th place. What a lovely gap he found on the racetrack, got himself out in front of Minor and is in 4th place, presumably, possibly pitted to the end here. So that will make Panda, Avalak and J-Boy sit up and take notice. Sims wants to know when the top two are within a second of each other. Alright, okay. That's fairly good. But right now, everyone will be on 100% ERS. So Martin says maybe I should sign up for Ferrari strategist. I know a bit more than that. think the queue to be a Ferrari strategist is quite long after this early season. I don't think I could work as a Ferrari strategist. The pressure they have to work under now. It's Panda, Avalak, J-Boy and Burn It Down under our first full safety car condition of the race. Lap 5, we see Minor, Hamrick, Burt's and Chicken Wing, Ron and Jacques the top 10. Just check in on positions changed. It's Minor up 10 places but with a penalty on the car. Chicken Wing up 10 as well. Burn It Down has dropped 1, but of course he has now stopped on the hard tyres. Cowboy having still net gained 5 and put the second set of tyres on. Now his mediums will not get him to the end. He may run a soft medium soft here, Cowboy. And as far as penalties, actually Minor's picked up 8 seconds, so he will pay 5 of those off the next time he's in the pits. But with the only penalties on the board, he's already racked up 8 seconds. How deep will the medium tyres go? Will they be going all the way through till lap 18 to 20? Do we think? Certainly this safety car period will help them, and the VSC at the start of the race. But it was pretty early for the soft runners to get off those tyres. Will that be the only safety car opportunity we'll see tonight, I wonder? I have my doubts, but we will see. Currently on lap 6 of 29. Looks like the whole field have caught up to within a sector. I think that should trigger our safety car to come in. There we go. And now Panda will become the de facto safety car on the grid. There's quite a few cars could do with moving up, and I think Panda's going to help that along by being quite slow here down the back straight. Might be he decides to go around turn 14, maybe on the exit of 13 is a good place, but it's easy to get wrong, easy to light up the rear tyres in the final sector of this racetrack on a restart. By no means at all is it a guarantee. Like a tiny little lurch there forward from Panda. 5-second penalty given out to Chicken Wing for a collision with Burt's. Might see Chicken Wing lose parts from the car as well. Oh wow, so Panda is leaving this very, very late indeed. He's going to let it be a very gentle exit out of the final corner, and away he goes, opening up the gap. Looks like there's starting to be a potential battle brewing here between Sir Hamrick and Minor, who got a slightly poor getaway, but across the grass goes Burn It Down on the hard tyres. It's struggling to warm those hard tyres up, and we've got an Alpine of Jacques hitting the wall in the background. Alpine lose a driver, and that's Jacques out of the race now on that restart as they headed into turn 1. We saw Burn It Down across the grass. We saw Jacques spinning again. Hard tyres, struggling to get the tyres warmed up. Looks like Burt's pitted after that contact with Chicken Wing, so he presumably that was forced into down to the foot of the field, and we lose a 4th driver from the race. Yellow flag is still active in sector 1, but this battle between well, now Burn It Down defending from Sir Hamrick here. Burn It Down on the hard tyres cannot get any temperature in, as Sir Hamrick with the better run through the slipstream alone on the approach to turn 9 gets the job done. Might be slightly hampered coming out of turn 10. He is, and he's now forced to defend on the way down into turn 11. Manages to do so safely enough, and Burn It Down's tyres will suddenly come back to him, but he lost a couple of places there, having chosen those hard tyres. Still the closest battle on the field between these two at the moment, but that is a slow Red Bull away from the final corner. That was Minor with a possible traction oversteer, and Sir Hamrick takes 2 places within a lap and gets the job done. He's up to P4 now, Sir Hamrick, on the leader strategy of 7 lap-old mediums from the start. Burn It Down not able to get past Minor with quite the same amount of decisiveness. Simp says, I love that helicam shot. Absolutely. If I were the developer of this game, I would make the helicam shot a default option almost. It is fabulous when you can see the cars fighting using the helicopter. But it is just randomly selected. I really wish they would let us select that one on demand. It is great. So battle for fourth continues. So Hamrick leading Minor, leading Burn It Down. Burn It Down unable to unlock a great deal of pace here. Let's just check out Burn It Down's gap to leader while we run. He's currently lost 7.2 seconds to the leader of the race, Sergeant Panda. We've got DRS been enabled now. So we will start to see wings opening up on the next straight after turn 2. No, we won't. Okay. See, the detection zone was way back before that point, so we will see them again soon. The DRS, and that's the mission now for Burn It Down, is to stay within that 1 second window and hope that Minor slips out of that 1 second window, as he does right now. Possibly a move developing here for Top Gun, the Williams driver, coming in towards turn 6. Oh dear me, Top Gun wipes out the car. That is another yellow flag. It's another full course yellow and a full safety car. That is another car losing a corner of the racetrack. The only benefit we have here of drivers dropping out is it should decrease the odds of a further safety car race-ending damage. But there we go, we lose the 5th driver. It's Top Gun out of the race. We saw exactly what just happened. He was fighting, possibly unsighted from the apex from the car in front. And do we see any pit stops? We do, from Panda. Avalak have gone in the pits. J-Boy in the pits too, with Sahamrik hounding the back of him. That looks like Minor in the pits, and Burn It Down will resume the lead of this race, having put in his cheap pit stop earlier on. So pit stops all around for many of the medium runners from the start. Just Esotronic left to make a decision here, and 19 laps to go. It's Burn It Down now from Chums, Ron, Saltzmeister, Cowboy. He's had a eventful race so far, has Cowboy. Then we've got Panda, our erstwhile leader of the race, now on the hard tyres to the end as well. So it could be that majority of the field are pitted to the end. And if we get another safety car, I'm sure they'll be in for softs, if they can get a cheap one. But it's Burn It Down in the lead. If any of the Premier Division guys have tuned in for to find out strategies, I think it's safe to say everything's just been ruined by these safety cars. No learning to be had for tomorrow, other than reactor safety cars. I think is the only thing you can really learn from this. Martin says Burn It Down is in a great position. Absolutely, completely agree. He's got 3 slower drivers from qualifying pace at least behind him on the same strategy. Then we've got Cowboy on mediums behind them as well, blocking the ascendancy of Panda, and Avalak in 6th and 8th respectively. So you're absolutely right, this has really come to Burn It Down. Like to see a win from Burn It Down after a string of races without one. You definitely want to see Panda being reined in at the head of the championship, don't you? You don't want to see him get away with it, be let to get away with it too easily. Safety car will stay out for the duration of lap 11, and then hopefully we will go racing again. Chicken Wing has put on 2-lap-old, or has kept on 2-lap-old soft tyres. I would have expected someone to have switched that out for fresh mediums at this point, maybe. While they had the chance at the rear of the field, and in fact into the pits he comes to shed them for a set of hard tyres. So we passed the 1/3 distance. We are in our second full safety car. We've also had a VSC, so it's been a very, very busy. Just waiting for that restart now. I'll tell you one thing I didn't ask for predictions on in the chat was how many cars will reach the finish of this race. At the current rate, we're going to struggle to get, I think, 8 home and dry. So, will we see a safety car coming in at the end of this lap? Yes. Oh, a very, very late decision there from the safety car. Lights were still on, well into that end of the lap. So, no real options here for Burn It Down. He goes now. Chums has gone with him. Will Cowboy be able to get the run here with the medium tyres on the car? And what can Panda and Avalak do from the rear of the field? Hamrick is looking very, very racy here on the back of Avalak. No way through just yet. Avalak slightly offline though, and that must open the opportunity here to Hamrick, who is forced to the outside, gets a good run. Coming out of turn 2 as they approach turn 3, he's got a good grip on the outside here. He gets the nose ahead, and they can go side by side, but Avalak just circumspect, decides to keep fighting further into this race than risk it all on a low percentage move, and doesn't defend the position successfully. It's a good overtake there for Sir Hamrick. We've got Esitronic and Cowboy side by side. Cowboy on the medium tyres is struggling to get them into operating temperature, which is unusual to say the least. Panda got past, Esitronic got past, and now so has Sir Hamrick. So a problem there for Cowboy, slipping down to 8th position as Burn It Down starts to ease himself away from Chums up in the lead of this field, but it is now or never for Avalak, Panda and Hamrick to make that pit stop, make up for that pit stop of loss of positions. Esitronic down the outside, breaks very early, but what a move from Hamrick down the outside. Wow, that was very brave and decisive from Hamrick, up to P6. And he certainly made the most of that one. Here comes Panda fighting now for P4 against Salzmeister. Gets down the inside, gets the job done. Excellent move from Panda. Very, very quick about it without the DRS as well. Panda up to P4 and only about 4 seconds away from Burn It Down's lead of the race. And Puna says Panda will win tonight's race. Well, always good to have the predictions, for sure. Here comes Panda then on the back of Ron. That has closed up incredibly quickly. Ron gives him the inside line as they head, sorry, the outside line as they head towards turn 9, but there will be the grippier part of the circuit. He's already passed. Panda has already got it done. I would suspect he is spending away on the telemetry, certainly spent a fair amount of it, and gets the job complete on the way through the chicane in the middle of the circuit. Further back though, Hamrick is also trying to do the same moves, goes down the outside, and what a good move from Hamrick. He's got this car control really underneath him tonight. Hamrick with a tremendous another tremendous pass here after the restart. Hamrick up to 5th, and the Alpine going wrong onto the grass. That should open up the another opportunity to Hamrick. The seas are parting in front of Hamrick, up to P4 now, and absolutely monstering this restart is Hamrick. There we go, comfortably up to P4, and the job is complete. Cowboy is fighting but unsuccessfully holding off these Red Bulls. He's stuck in the middle of 2 Red Bulls. We've got Minor lunging down the inside into turn 3 as well, and Cowboy slipping back down to P10. He was hoping for points tonight, but it's not in the great position now, especially on those 9-lap-old mediums. How much further into the race will he get them? They have done 2 safety car periods though, so maybe he'll still be able to hang on up towards the sharp end of the grid. It's Salzmeister behind Sir Hamrick, but I imagine that gap is about to open up. Here come formation flying, the 2 Alfa Romeos allowing each other past. That's Essitronic getting the nod on Ron, who now has Avalak right behind him. Ron steers to the inside of the track, doesn't want to give up the inside. In fact, he's almost forced into a move on his teammate. That could slow both of them down. His teammate slips on through with the outside-inside move. Ron just hangs on ahead of Avalak, and it's Alfa Romeo pair versus a Red Bull pair. And that is also Essitronic getting loose through the penultimate corner. A wall of Alfa Romeos is split by Avalak down the middle. Avalak coming through, but Ron has got the DRS as well. Both Red Bulls making places into turn 1, but Ron hanging on here. Another wild moment from the Red Bull, the second Red Bull of Minor, as J-Boy gets past Cowboy. And Cowboy loses out to Essitronic. Does he? We will have to wait until this sector is done with. Shocker says Hamrick for driver of the day now. Well, there's 2 very, very strong outside moves he's pulled off. Avalak still 2/10 then behind Ron. And they continue to battle. Ron is not going to give up the inside of the circuit. He's got the inside line going towards turn 9, but Avalak's passed with a straighter line through and a better exit out of turn 6 and 7. Is that Jacques Slater we've just seen leave? Oh, he'd already left the race, thankfully. So, just someone leaving the lobby. It's Burn It Down in the lead from Chums. Now Panda up to 3rd with Hamrick, the flying Sir Hamrick, in P4. This is Avalak leading the battle for P6. Well, it's not much of a battle anymore as it opens up nicely as Minor now comes to the next one to queue up behind Ron. He's got the DRS. He may decide to wait. In fact, well, Ron's got DRS too, so there's no overspeed available to Minor. He may be very, very close. Well, it looked like Ron had a problem going through the turn 2 exit, and that's brought J-Boy right into this one as well. Tries to go around the outside because the next turn makes it the inside, and J-Boy through as well. Absolutely action-packed since the last restart here at the end of lap 11. It's now lap 16. Burn It Down leads. Sergeant Panda is 6.4 seconds away from Chum's second place, and we've got Sir Hamrick right behind Sergeant Panda. This one should be mouth-watering. Hamrick tonight versus Panda, and Martin calls it out just at the time I'd noticed it, so thanks for that, Martin. Yeah, we'll focus on these guys because Hamrick versus championship leading Panda and the winner of the previous race. This one should be pretty entertaining. So DRS on the back of Panda, but on the back of Hamrick, sorry, as Panda uses that ERS to get away from him on the start-finish straight. But so Hamrick will get a second boost of DRS. Tucks in, but the gap is just too big. It's 0.366 seconds. J-Boy closing up to Minor as well. Really could be interesting now to see how the drivers finish off this race. 12 laps to go. They could all be doing it under this one stint of hard tyres to the end. Burn It Down, Chums and Salzmeister pitted under the first safety car. The rest of them pitted for the hards under the second safety car. A Cyber is cheering on Hamrick here as well. Smoothly through 9 and 10. You can see the cracked up tarmac underneath the drivers as they go through. I don't know if that has anything to do with the lack of grip through there. It's mostly just the fact that this track is very underutilized through the year. So now Hamrick with the best, the closest he's been. There you can see the power of the Mercedes and the traction with Hamrick's setup. Just slightly losing a little bit of grip there for Hamrick on the way out of turn 2. Once again, the gap opens up and he can't get close enough to make a move. Let's have a quick check on Joe Boy and Minor. Any advance on that one down into turn 3? Joe Boy just hanging around in the mirrors, and likewise Burt's versus Ron coming into turn 3. No move completed there either. Burn It Down holds on to the lead, but Chums is not letting him get away either. Chums in on 1.5 seconds away. Panda though 7 seconds away from Chums and Burn It Down. That hasn't really closed up because he's watching his mirrors this entire time with Hamrick right behind him. I do feel like Panda has got more top speed. They're on very similar amounts of ERS as well, but that was a poor turn 11 for Panda. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to get past here for Hamrick at this section. He'll have to wait till now to get going. Here we go then. Excellent camera angle once again. Trying to make use of the ERS. He's very close under the ERS. Let's see how he traverses turn 2. Put on extra steering lock this time through turn 2, but again Panda pulls away down that second straight, and Hamrick unable to make inroads into this rival. He is faster through the corners. That's a nice little line through turn 4 and 5. They make contact, and unfortunately that is a front wing gone for Hamrick. He was so close. That was edge of the seat stuff. Unfortunately, Sir Hamrick, that was edge of the racetrack stuff as well, and the limit of adhesion very much reached and surpassed. Yeah, big problem for Sir Hamrick. That is such a problem there. Such a shame to be dropped down, but he'll have the chance to reset and get a new set of boots on. Let's see what he can do in the remaining 10 laps of the race. Martin says, why would he go for that move? Well, because he's spent 3 laps trying to get past in the conventional positions, I expect, Martin. But yeah, it was a low percentage move, but he did look like he was almost alongside. I don't think there was contact, or malicious contact at least, between himself and Panda, but that has secured Panda, who pits now. Panda pits in. I wonder if that was damage for Panda, potentially. He pits and is registering with 9-lap-old mediums. I think that's a little bit unlikely, but that surprises me to see Panda pit as Chums picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. I didn't realise we had a VSC. The truck wasn't yellow. Maybe it was for a second there, but Avalak 4/10 off the lead of Saltzmeister. So Burn It Down pitted. Burn It Down pitted and has put medium tyres on for the final 9 laps of the race. Avalak is still on the hard tyres, and Saltzmeister is on the harder still. Burn It Down moving forward then. That is a good position to be in. Chums is going for a about 8 laps stint at the end on soft tyres, so at full racing speed that's quite adventurous. We'll see if he can do that on, it will be lower fuel levels of course. Saltzmeister has the lead of the race against Avalak, who has DRS in operation. Burn It Down is only 2.2 seconds behind this pair, and Avalak needs to get past Saltzmeister and then try and maintain the gap to Burn It Down, who is on medium tyres. Fresh medium tyres down the inside, tries Avalak, but it wasn't really on that far back. Panda leading the championship, currently in P7 on 10-lap-old mediums. I don't know if he accidentally fitted an old set of tyres or the game is lying to us, but that is Really quite unusual to see him on 10-lap-old mediums at this point. I'm sure he pitted. This is your battle for the lead, although Burn It Down is gaining massively on these two on the fresh tyres. Avalak with the DRS down into turn 11, can't quite get the pass done. It's only a very short DRS zone there, just enough to help you close up what you've lost under aero. It goes for a wider entry line into the final corner, and away we go. Down the start finish straight, Avalak takes the lead of the race. Burn It Down paying a watching brief behind him. And let's see. Martin says only one set of mediums and one set of hards available. Well, in which case, why wouldn't you put softs on? Why would you put on old mediums rather than the hards you're already on? I don't quite get it. What's the advantage, really? Burn It Down then did get chums, and now Burn It Down in second place, with Avalak trying to sprint away from these two. Chums has temporarily left the session. That probably made it a bit easier there. So his ghost is running. Saltzmeister 0.4 of a second behind him on the hard tyres. Is it possible that Chums didn't select those tyres? It was selected for him, but he's demoted to 4th then. Saltzmeister up to 3rd place, and Burn It Down closes to within 0.7 of a second now. Chums back in the car in 4th place. Not too much damage done to his race. So Burn It Down half a second, make that 0.4, but we know you've got to be certainly within 0.3 coming out of the final corner to try and make a move down into turn 3. It's really, really difficult. You can try chance your arm around the outside into turn 5 like Hamrick, but it didn't quite work. Hamrick, 2 very successful outside moves, 1 catastrophic outside move. Burn It Down quicker than in this sector. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3, cleared quickly with 6 laps to go, including this one. And it's going to be interesting, as Martin says, that the soft tyres would be dead by the time you reach the penultimate lap. Well, we'll see what happens to Chums, Sir Hamrick and Esitronic. See what their kind of tyre life looks like. Burn It Down then, 1/4 of a second away. This is the right kind of territory he needs to be to take the lead of this race. With Saltzmeister and Minor with penalties on the car, it's going to make life a little bit easier for the top 2. So 0.3 of a second just over, and with good pace coming out of the final corner is Burn It Down, trying to force Avalak offline coming out of turn 1 and 2. Didn't quite succeed. Burn It Down was weaving slightly down the straight, well, once anyway, as Burn It Down is going for a lunge down into turn 3. They'll make contact. Oh, and actually Avalak was righted by the second contact with Burn It Down. That was well, it was tough, hard racing. They were side by side. I think Avalak slightly ahead, but with the impetus on him, the axles were overlapped. So I think Avalak, the onus was on Avalak to give up half of the racetrack on the inside. Let me know what you think to that one, as Burn It Down, well, he's going to try and get himself a penalty distance ahead, I think, of Avalak. Avalak was fighting with very little tyre grip available to him. He'll be grateful at least that the second contact straightened the car up, because without that he was going at least 90 degrees round that difficult turn 3. Burn It Down sprints off into the lead, 2.6 seconds to the good. And Avalak with a tough job here to run the hard tyres all the way to the end. but it's not worth a pit stop unless all 3 drivers behind him pit as well. Martin says clean racing. Well, it wasn't clean because they did make contact, but I see what you mean. It was hard racing. Shocker says fair. Okay, interesting. Any advance on that? Anyone's got a hotter take than that was fair? Because I tend to agree. Shocker says it's not Burn It Down's fault that Red Bull lost traction out of the corner. Well, that is. And Don Ravick also says Avalak didn't leave the space. Well, yeah, Avalak probably won't thank us for this, but that's good to hear your views on it. Let's see what Miner's doing relative to J-Boy here. Miner in the second Red Bull. Some good grip on the Red Bull at the moment here. Similar age tyres, so this is driver performance or racecraft, I suppose, if you take into account that chronological age on the tyre isn't everything. It's all about how you drive them and your setup management. But you've got to feel like maybe Miner has got a chance now. Closed up massively during the process of that final corner, but the gap opens out slightly now. Slightly slower through turn 1. That's not going to help you make a move into turn 3. So Burn It Down leads by nearly 3 seconds now with 3 laps to go, including this one from Avalak. Saltzmeister, J-Boy and Miner we see on screen. Then comes Chums 7.2 seconds further back. Sergeant Panda, our championship leader, trying to get nearly 20 laps out of the medium tyres. That's going to be tricky. Likewise, it's going to be tricky. And Hamrick has retired from the session. What has befallen our candidate for driver of the day? Whereabouts is he? Okay, he's on the exit of turn 5, entry to turn 6 mini straight here. Let's see what's happened to the car. There it is, out, parked up, double wave yellows at the moment in that sector, and the car has been cleared, so the drivers at the front of the field breathe a sigh of relief as we go back to green flag racing, and Miner catching J-Boy once again through the lap. So Miner with DRS behind the Mercedes here as they approach the camera. 0.4 of a second, down to about 1/3 of a second temporarily. Oh, and a spin coming out. He knocks off the front wing, and that is a terrible place to have to run the whole of the lap before going into the pits for a new front wing. Maybe soft tyres at the end, maybe a chance at fastest lap. Panda's gone in the pits. He has shed those medium tyres. He fancies that fastest lap, and he'll be very pleased to see another driver potentially help him gain that point that he's those points that he's going to drop by dropping down the order. So Panda in the pits for softs. You fancied that the second Red Bull of Miner will be in the pits shortly for soft tyres. Burn It Down, I think his mediums are starting to get worn through, or he had a rough lap that time. 2.3 seconds. I think he needs to be comfortably 3 seconds to the good here against Avalak in case of a unfavourable steward decision following that contact. Avalak doesn't adjudicate accidents that he's involved in, I believe. I think he uses independent stewards, so there's no worries on that front for favouritism or nepotism or whatever you want to ism you call it. Here comes Chums then, overtaking Miner, who pits for that damage. Chums on the 7-lap-old soft tyres. This is the experimental run on the softs. Esitronic likewise, to see if they'll reach the end of the race. Burn It Down leads by 2.3 seconds now. Avalak leads Saltzmeister by 7 seconds. We haven't actually got any close battles on the field, apart from maybe Burn It Down trying to put a comfortable gap on Avalak with 2 laps to go. I don't think we're going to see anything particularly dramatic in terms of battling, but you never know who you're going to be watching who will then make a mistake as the grip drops on the cars. The fuel comes off and drivers get hungry for that fastest lap. Currently lies with Sir Hamrick, who won't get points for having picked that up. We've got 12 survivors so far. Will we see all 12 of those make the end of the race? I will cycle through, but you can see the relative fastest laps so far. Sergeant Panda, I'm assuming, will be going for it here. Let's join him on board. I think this is his second lap. I think this is now bid for fastest lap. Let's see what happens as he goes through sector 2. Yeah, he is very much to the good here on his fastest time, 22.5. He needs a big chunk of time to gain versus Hamrick's time to steal that fastest lap. Or I should say claim the fastest lap, because he doesn't even sit with Sir Hamrick technically. Rabico says that he and Sims will burn it down's engineers tonight. I don't know if you're joking with me or not, how you can have two Jeffs in your ear. A -2 seconds to the good for Panda isn't enough, I don't think, to pick up the fastest lap. Not quite. Wow, he's 1/10 away. He'll be very, very annoyed about that. By 1/10 of a second, may not have the ERS to go for another run. Here's a late move on the final lap of the race from Ron versus Bert's Alfa Romeo up the inside of the Williams, who quickly leaves the session. I think that was accidental rather than a deliberate sulking. And here comes Burn It Down then to cross the line. Burn It Down will win the Australian Grand Prix by 2.9 seconds from Avalak, who had the pole. These two were the fastest boys on track, most consistently through our entire evening of racing. Saltzmeister, by a narrow margin, is beaten by J-Boy to the line in third place. So it's Burn It Down, Avalak and J-Boy, our podium. Then comes Saltzmeister and Chums. Sergeant Panda looking for the fastest lap. He's 1.5 tenths slower on this lap than he has been before. So whether he will complete that or not, there's all manner of penalties in the tail end of the field to pay for as Sergeant Panda goes to the line. Then will this one be a new fastest lap? No, it will not be. Sergeant Panda picks up 6th place, a very unusually quiet race from Panda. Minor in 7th, a good set of points for the Red Bull team as the test and reserve driver. Ron crosses the line to pick up 8th position. And then we see Cowboy. Oh, fantastic stuff to see our interviewee in the pre-show pick up points. He'll be happy with that. That was his aim. As Bertz gets DNF in 10th. I think that means Esotronic will overtake him on the 10th lap on his soft tyres. Esotronic will pick up 10th place. Brilliant stuff for Esotronic. And Chicken Wing will be classified in 11th as he finishes on the lead lap. Great race, really great race from Burn It Down, Avalak and J-Boy. So there's Minor with driver of the day for, I'm assuming, positions gained, although he did knock off his front wing at one point, so I'm not quite sure that his bosses would give him that driver of the day award. Certainly not his mechanics. Well, here comes Burn It Down for winning the Australian Grand Prix. Very, very happily he is indeed, as we've got our drivers approaching for the interview room. There we go. Lifting the trophy is Burn It Down. Mechanics, identical twin ladies in the team. Who are obviously very happy with his his night's work, or is that just the limit of what the game makers code into different people on the track? There's certainly this marshal that goes to every race. So we have Burn It Down winning the race with a time of 45 minutes flat from Avalak, 3 seconds slower overall. In second place, then J-Boy, and we'll try and hear from all three of them as we close out the footage tonight. Make sure if you've got a question for our drivers that you drop in the live chat. Chums, Sergeant Panda, Miner, Ron, Cowboy, and Essitronic secured the top 10 positions. Chicken Win finished, and unfortunately, Butts, Hamrick, Top Gun, Jacques, Pampern, AP Mark, and Shane all DNF'd. Well, as the drivers get ready and just check their audio settings, if they haven't talked to me before or they've changed them since. That was a tremendous race. Remember to like the video today and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at WebORed5. But congratulations are due, first of all, to Burn It Down. Burn It Down, you've got a lot of fans joining us in the live chat, but that wasn't the most straightforward of races, but you did it in the end. Really? Fantastic. Well, it's actually yellow lines here in Australia, so I don't know which white lines you were trying to keep it between. But talk me through your race. What are the most dramatic moments you had tonight? Yep. It did in the end, absolutely. Now we've got I think Shocker and Rabico telling me they were both strategy calling for you tonight. Is that true? How do you do it? How do you drive with two or three different voices going on in your head at any one point? Okay, so it wasn't like you were in a party, right? Oh, phew. No. No, I do know some drivers who do, and I don't know how they do it. But congratulations. That would be much more like getting your championship back on target now, I'm sure. Find me someone who does enjoy Albert Park, because I don't know many. But also Panda, only securing 6th place, should open this up big time as we head into the second half of the championship. Absolutely. Well, congratulations to Burn It Down. Next up, we've got Avalak, who was the pole sitter. He was quickest throughout qualifying, and looked like it was your night tonight, Avalak, but it just didn't get there in the end.
Yeah, it was close. It wasn't bad at all. The safety cars just come out at the wrong times normally. But tonight it was, yeah, it was difficult not to get penalties and warnings and stuff. Luckily I had none. But yeah, it wasn't easy. But hey, I'll take second any day. I've been a couple of times fourth and had some bad luck, so I'll take second any day.
Absolutely. Well, talk me through that turn 3 incident with Burn It Down. I know you were fighting a little bit wounded with your tyres, but it looked like I couldn't tell if you had initial contact, but you had certainly contact that seemed to right the car suddenly, which if you're going to have contact with the car and end up being pitched round slightly, it's quite fortunate to end up pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, look, I mean, I left space and I thought he could have given me a bit more space and he knocked me. And at that stage, I mean, if you get on the throttle through that section of the track, you know, you're going to turn the other way around. And I had a look at where the rest of the guys were behind me. So I was like, you know what, we'll leave that for the stewards. It's cool. We'll take second for now. And if it doesn't pan out, I'm quite happy just for points. Red Bull has had a horrible season in Premier Division and Division 2. So, yeah, it was. I knew the gap behind was quite big, so there was I had no penalties, no warning. So it was just keeping it on track. And then the hards were actually pretty cool. I mean, I was pushing the last 2 laps quite hard. I caught Burn It Down very quickly again. And I remembered, I'm not sure which track it was. I think it was Spain, or no, it was Hungary, where I spun out on the last lap on the second last corner, and I was like, I'm not going to do this tonight. I'm just going to go in 4th gear. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was fun racing.
As you say, pole and a 2nd place you'd take if someone offered you at the start of the race, but a little bit of frustration with the contact. I would say consensus in the live chat was that racing incident, or that
Like, thank goodness the stewards is not part of the YouTube stream.
exactly. But the vast majority of them have got a dog in the fight. So I think it was Rabico, Simps, and Martin all claiming that it was okay. So I think
yeah. No, I mean they're obviously McLaren supporters, so it's almost
definitely
like a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen thing where Lewis is never wrong. So, but you know what? In essence, if it doesn't turn out to be a win, I'll take second. And
absolutely.
Once again, it was good points. My teammate did really well tonight, so he was reserved for Gerard, who's ill. I've been ill for a week, so this is good. This is good, Andy.
No, hey, I mean, yeah, good result and great performance all night. You had fantastic speed, even on the hards at the end, so you've got to take a lot of solace from that. Congratulations for second place. Let's go to J-Boy, who's been waiting very patiently. J-Boy, I think might be the first time I've talked to you, but there you go, third place, and congratulations on a podium.
Thanks, man. Me and the other Red Bull, we had a battle and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk me through that. How did that sit from your perspective? Was it all enjoyable, or was it getting a bit hairy?
It was enjoyable, but he had like an 8-second penalty. So then, who was third, fourth? Solmeister.
Yes.
When Solmeister got a penalty, and then I was at the back of was the other Red Bulls. What's his name?
Minor.
Yeah. So then I must pass him to get to Solmeister. So I was pushing and pushing and pushing.
No, it's fantastic.
All time.
Talk me through how you were making your strategy decisions tonight. Really hard to gauge. Those two safety cars, really inconvenient timings.
Everybody at the back of me, in the front of me, everybody's like, okay, there goes Puna into the wall and stuff. So I'm just okay. I must just focus on my race and stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I was holding my mediums like I'm lacquer and stuff, and then on the hards was tough. The hards was it's a tough tie for me.
Well, fantastic. I mean, you must be happy with the podium overall, and good to talk to you. Good to meet you on the press conference. Congratulations to J-Boy, and also to, of course, Avalak and to Burn It Down for the win. Well, thanks everyone for all the chat and for the likes on the video. Do tune in tomorrow night for the Premier Division. But until next time, from everyone here at Division 2, we will catch you on the next race day.